Traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Connon. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Market bounces off that support level again yesterday. The whole 1395 area has been like a rock. Can that continue to hold? FedEx is lowering guidance. UPS down in sympathy with that as well. Couple secondary offerings, also earnings from Dollar General. And Facebook finally feeling a little bit of love, getting some love from Jeffries and actually rallying this morning. Joel, what do you think about this 1395 level on this S&P?
Oh, yeah. You're going to start right in on me this
Yeah.
morning, right? Yeah, we went down there yesterday. I figured, well, hey, it's the fourth time down here. Got a little heavy on the Twitter button. Went out there with a little bit of a bearish rant, and I was wrong.
And I fought you with the bullish rant. I was like, when it reached it there, 1394.50, Joel tweets out, put a fork in this market. And I was like, not so fast. We have a half a point breach is not a real breach in my opinion. And we actually rallied up, so I have to rub it in Joel's face here a little bit. But that just continues to hold that whole area, that 1395 area. Every time it gets down there, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 7 times we've been down there now. And 7 times we've rallied. What is it with this sell-offs in the morning and rally all afternoon? Have you noticed that trend?
Yeah, it just seems like they get the market down a little bit, and then the bears just run out of gunpowder and they come rallying back. I guess technical analysis does work. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, technical analysis, it doesn't work." Well, if you were doing your technical analysis and you're keeping an eye on this 1395 level, 1396 level, I mean, it's just been incredible. And, it's just so obvious that that's major support. I'm just of the theory, I know you think everyone's so bearish and everything, the market's going to go up. Did you hear Ralph make 'em poorer yesterday on CNBC?
And what did he say?
He's not bullish. He's super bullish.
Well, yeah, but he was making the same argument. I think he was reading my tweet because I've been making the same argument too.
Ralph.
But okay, so you have one bull on CNBC. How many bears do we see on CNBC? We have seen a lot of bears coming out, basically saying that this market needs a correction. You had a Goldman Sachs analyst there yesterday coming out, basically saying that he was advising to buy short-term puts in the market because they think it's going down. There's a lot of participants that are still very bearish out there, and I would gather.
They don't put you on CNBC if you're bearish.
Dude, we are seeing a lot of, and that's saying something. So if they're filtering out the bears are still getting on there. So there's a lot of people bearish. I just think the market sentiment here is very, very poor still, considering, and even the numbers coming out. FedEx lowers guidance. The fundamentals keep coming out, and they don't look good. Obviously, Europe's still hanging over. There's a lot of things still hanging over this market, but it continues to, hold on here, and markets do like to climb a wall of worry. So I'm not going to say that I'm bullish here, but I'm definitely not a seller until we can breach this whole 1390 area because it's just been like a rock.
Yeah, and the highs have been consolidating too. We've had a couple lower highs. We have that triple top at 14.12, 14.12.15, 14.12 and a quarter from last week. So hey, when I talked about it in the weekly outlook, we break below 13.95 or we break above 14.12, then that's going to be my opinion. And I'll stick to it.
And not by a half a point. You got to let it get through a buck or two. A half a point is not breaking through.
I didn't want to miss it.
You were excited. You're like, there it is. You were excited. FedEx lowering guidance there just after the bell. That's the market's down just a little bit here. We've popped up a little bit on ECB news, but FedEx is down $2.50 here right now, trading at 85.20 after closing at 87.54. This is not good for the market overall either. You have this whole triple bottom thing happening. FedEx has taken that out. Now we're breaking down into basically a vacuum area where there's not a heck of a lot of support below this 86.
Yeah, you see that chart in FedEx there with all the lows right there, that area?
The 86,
you see,
yeah.
Everyone thought 87 was the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Vavoom, they take it out. Looking at it, though, from a pre-market perspective, that's what we do here, 83.82 is what we've hit in the pre-market, and we've had a pretty good rally since then. Running into a little bit of trouble here around the 85.20 level. So the parameters you use this morning when trading FedEx, major support at 83.82, minor resistance here at 85.20. And of course, if it gets above that 85.20 range, you can go anywhere. Have a ways to go up to 86, 87, which was yesterday's low. But that's what I mean. When you have that many lows in an area and that many people think it's the low, va boom! Look what
It can go
happens.
through it quickly. And even if you're playing the S&P from that 1395 area, you do need to be cognizant. We start breaking down below 1390, it could get ugly in a hurry. I still think you got some support at 1388. That's my real bogey. But exactly, when you have that many people leaning on one side and it does take it out, the market can move. And FedEx obviously has just shown you that. But interesting, you were saying it bottomed at 83.82. Look at that low back in June, 83.80, perfectly coinciding that. So these pre-market lows and pre-market highs often coincide with old lows or old intraday highs in the regular session from previous days. And if you go back to June 5th, you had that 83.80 low. So if you were looking at that and you had an order sitting out there, you're probably pretty happy right now because FedEx has bounced off that
You
level.
probably didn't get done because it went to 83,
Yeah, you probably said
82.
anything, so you didn't quite get it. You got pennied there by some algorithm, but at least you had the right idea.
And you want
UP
to talk about an ugly chart? Look at this UPS chart.
It doesn't look good, does it? And breaking down here today, obviously in sympathy. No, not a lot of volume, but it was trading a little bit of volume there last night. So it is trading down here, obviously with the FedEx news. I mean, you look at that June low again, 72.15 jumps out at me. Closed at 73.70, so I would use that as the bogey. It's trading 71.91 just on a couple hundred shares here this morning. So if it does indeed take out that 72 level, not that great. But I mean, you're filling this area and it could find a little bit of support there.
After the 72.50 level, I'm looking at the low from December of last year at 70.38, but that's still quite a ways away for that to go down on FedEx news. But don't they say a lot of times that these two companies are you know predict the market? They're a little bit ahead of the market.
I think so. I think you obviously you've got that's everybody uses FedEx and UPS to ship, and people are buying so much stuff online. It can be definitely an indicator even for stocks like Amazon sometimes. I'm not sure if Amazon's actually getting. Oh, it's down a little bit here, but sometimes you do see stocks like UPS or FedEx do lead certain indicators. They are a good indicator, and the overall, so there's another bearish argument there. HO and FedEx is lowering guidance. He's got to throw that in there. I mean, this market, there's no doubt we've had some wicked consolidation here in the overall market for the last month. I think you're going to see the jobs numbers probably going to be your driver here on Friday, obviously. But sometimes you can fade those moves and they work too. But I'd still keep an eye on those levels that we were talking about before. Dollar General had earnings here this morning. It's trading up a little bit here, 69 cents against estimates of 64. Stock is trading up a buck 50 here in the pre-market at 52.18. Closed at $50.66. Sometimes these retailers come out though, and then they get some follow through. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, we got up to on very little volume, got up to 54.18 in the
Whoa,
pre-market.
whoa,
I
after hours,
just
yeah.
don't see that happening today. Currently trading at 52.18. You had a real nice double top at the 41.53 to 41.42, 51.33 to 51.42. Broke through that in the pre-market. That will act as major support. The number I'd be keeping an eye on the upside. 52.97 was the high on August 7th. We're a buck away from there. So use 53 as resistance. That 54 high was just one of your crazy news algos that you've designed.
Yeah, but sometimes these retailers, if that was like a stock like Campbell's yesterday moving up $2, obviously we say, oh, it can't get there again. But Dollar General can move. I'm not going to say if I'd rather wait a little bit longer and missed the trade. The 54 looks really good to me. I'm just a little bit scared of the 53 level that you might be catching it early. Like when you get that move like Campbell's yesterday, that was absolutely ridiculous. When you get a stock that trades up that with a low beta stock like that and it trades up in the pre-market, we're like 38.70 or something you said.
Yep.
That was absolutely ridiculous. So you've got to know which stock you're trading to. And Campbell's doesn't move $3 usually on any news, and when it's trading up in the pre-market, it was kind of predictable that it probably wouldn't open up there. It didn't even come close. Opens at 36.28 and then tanks, and actually at a moment was trading down on the day. So if you were shorting that one pre-market, you did well. But in a stock like Dollar General, sometimes these stocks can have a little more volatility and they can have a little bit more movement. So wouldn't surprise me if you do see that stock maybe not get up to 54, but has the potential to get there. Is all I'm saying.
I'd say it trades 51 before it trades 53.
That could be an interesting one. We might do the usual bet on that one.
Yep.
It's at 52 right now, so you're saying 51. The only problem is the trend's your friend right now here, because I don't know if I'm taking you on this, because the trend's your friend. This thing was already up there.
Let's talk about the next stock.
You always try to sucker me in, but
you get your 1400 again. Get your bids out there.
Yeah, 1401. We're trading out in the S&P. Bounce.
Yeah,
So get your bids at 1395.
Yeah, 1300. Yeah, you see, we got a little European news bounce there, and then people realize there's never going to be a resolution to the European situation, and we're right back down.
Capital One Financial doing ING is selling their stake and going to do it as in a secondary offering there. They're going to sell 54 million shares of COF. Stock is trading down on that news. I haven't seen the price go by yet. Obviously, when you get that pricing in that secondary, sometimes those prices can act like a magnet. I don't know if they've announced that yet. 55.73 is where it's trading out on 1.2 million shares.
Wow.
That is incredible volume. That is a move that is probably sustainable when we see that kind of volume here. I think, where did it get down to last night? It was trading lower than that last night after they announced this. I feel like it got down to 55.
55.03
Yep.
hit. Yep, when the initial news came out, and it bounced, and now did you say they announced a secondary?
I haven't seen the price go by, but maybe they have, because is it starting to look locked in at this price? Is that what?
It looks like someone's guessing it's going to be around 55.75. It's starting to consolidate there a little bit after some crazy activity.
Right.
Just besides that pre-market low there at 55.03, just up to just looking at the chart, I mean, this is always the day after, but obviously someone wanted out of this stock at $57. Had several highs up in that area. Maybe they had a little inkling about a secondary coming out or something, but hey, we can't speculate about that. There was major support at 55, 48, and 49. There was the lows back on August 23rd and August 24th. And then below that, you have a low on August 14th at 54.96. But all this activity is predicated on the secondary price, which we don't have yet.
Facebook getting some love here this morning from Jeffries. Every time the stock bounces, though, it sells back off. It was trading higher here earlier on. They initiated coverage, Jeffries did, with a price target of $30 and a buy rating. Stock is trading up 50 cents. How high has Facebook got here in the pre-market?
Facebook in the pre-market, when this glorious news was announced, it got up to, it definitely got. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong chart here. Sorry about that.
I thought I seen it trading upwards to 1850 this morning, but I'll let you get the exact number there. Obviously, every time this stock comes out with good news or with anything, and also Zuckerberg was saying that he's not going to sell any of his shares either for a full year, even though the lockup period, and he's allowed to sell them. He says he's not going to. I think that's why the stock's getting a little bit of a lift too. But every time this thing rallies, it just finds more sellers. Is that going to be the case today?
Well, it hit 1840 on the pop.
1840, okay.
Yeah, and then it's back down since it hit 1840 and made a low at 1806. So I would use those parameters. Just look at this stock. I know I've been dead wrong on this thing since since the IPO. Was really looking hard at it last week when it was holding this $19 level. You had all that consolidation. And then you pointed out to me that a lot of times when it consolidates and goes lower. And, that's exactly what it did
Yeah.
here. So instead of rushing out and buying this on the Jeffries upgrade, I'd rather see this stock, make a double, triple, quadruple top or something like that, and break through it on the upside instead of using this 1755 low as a bogey.
IBM you wanted to talk about here. Obviously, that key support area here that I've drawn on the chart continues to hold. Yesterday's low 193.25. The low from a few days before that was 193.18. And if you go back in early August, we had a low of 193.02. Call that whole area 193. I'm going to call it major support here now because we bounced off it again yesterday.
Yeah, what I wanted to point out with that yesterday is it got that bogus upgrade.
Yeah,
I don't know who. I
yeah.
don't know if it was from, what the
It
name
was
of the firm
Barclays.
was.
Barclays upgraded it.
Barclays. What do they know? What do they know about U.S. companies? And it was trading up over 197, I believe, in the
Yes.
pre-market,
Yep.
and very little volume. I mean, as much as that stock is a thinly traded issue, it was just trading up on nothing. So if it would have been not an easy thing to step in short it and fade it, but it was up a couple points on low volume. So
Yeah, we were.
that's something to take a note of in the pre-market.
Yeah, when they're trading up there, especially when the overall chart doesn't look great. I mean, it does have nice support here. There's no doubt you can play it off that support area. It breaks through 193 and it looks ugly, but really IBM hasn't had a good few weeks here. It's been trending down ever since it broke back through 200. I feel like if it continues to play with this 193 number, it may eventually take it out. I mean, you can look at a lot of these stocks. They're trading on major support. The overall market, we know where the major support is on that. So I think when you see if the S&P was to break that 1390 area, obviously the IBM is probably going to break its 193. You get other stocks that are on major support like Microsoft at $30 even, Joel. There's a lot of, and Microsoft, look at that one with that 31 held again there. It was trading up there in the pre-market yesterday morning, just below 31. Never even sniffed it and started going straight down.
Yeah, I mean, there just has not been a driver for this stock, or I mean, just going back to our overall market theory. I mean, what's the catalyst to bust us out to new highs here?
That's well, I think it's still just to climb the wall of worry. Obviously, they're hoping, they're banking on maybe an okay unemployment number. I mean, even if that number is okay, we've said that we just haven't got an okay number in the last 4 months. But obviously, that's going to be Friday's going to be your big market mover. You may still have some comments from Joggy tomorrow. You might get Bernanke obviously talking next week. So there is some catalyst there, but we are out of earnings season. You just got to keep playing this market by the technicals, though. I'm still going to just keep preaching this at you. I know we've talked about 3-4 times in the show already, but until that whole 1390 area goes, I think you still got to play from the long side because it's been working. And a lot of these other stocks too, if you're just playing it by the technicals and not worrying about the fundamentals, that seems to be working. Like look at AT&T yesterday.
Yeah, I knew you were going to mention
It
that.
gets down to that 36.50, and I did buy it down there. I bought it. I sell too soon. I always sell too soon, but 36.57. So I actually got it a penny off the low yesterday. But I sold in 36.60s because of scalper blood I can't seem to get out of me. Wish I would have held it because it got up to 36.92 yesterday. But again, keeps finding buyers in the 36.50. Keeps finding sellers around $37.
Yeah, that's amazing. That range, we've been talking about that for a while. That's been holding up really well. I just want to point out a few stocks, just to try and support my bearish theory here. ExxonMobil, been talking about that $87 level forever and a brother here. Did take it out,
Yeah.
got to 86.52, kind of got sucked along with the rest of the market, rallied up, wasn't able to make a new high. But now here you're trading at the $87 level. So I think we need to get back above and hold 87, or I think ExxonMobil's in some trouble. In the same sector, Chevron Corporation has just been hugging this 110.88 level. Even go back a little bit farther, you had a low at 110.76, 110.95.
Yeah.
Going back, you had another low at 110.70, 110.90. So for you folks that are held on to this Chevron Corporation forever, you're getting ready to retire. Buy some downside protection on this thing, because this thing could be back at $100 in 2 days. We've seen this thing drop 5, 6, 7, 8 points in a couple
Well,
days.
Chevron can start moving, and I'll give you the Exxon. I'll give you the Exxon because the Exxon chart does look broken to me. It looks like it broke that key support level there yesterday. You're getting that bounce up, so that one I will give you. That one looks broken to me already. Chevron obviously still holding on that 110.75 area, which obviously needs to continue to hold. But I mean, when you see Exxon breaking down, it makes me think Chevron probably going to do the same thing here. And you were also saying GE seems to be
Yeah,
broken now too.
yeah.
So
Actually I was thinking about it a couple weeks ago when that GE at 2119 Kramer tweeted out, oh, we're going now, load up on the G, and I tweeted back at him. I'm like, if this thing doesn't get over 2120 in the next 5 minutes, it's just going to sink right back down. I guess that's more than 140 characters. But he obviously didn't respond back to me. Got a lock on this thing at 21. Now it's starting to break down again. It sure looks like it's going to enter this vacuum area and hit this low at 2020 and perhaps go back and test the $20
there's not
level.
a heck of a lot below this 2050 area. So there is another chart. There is some charts here on your individual components that are starting to look broken. So that is a
Thank
little
you.
bit of an ominous sign. I will give you that. You're starting to swing me a little bit in favor of this bearish argument. But like I said, that 1395 area continues to work, and I'll probably try it again here. I mean, 6, 7 times it's worked before in the overall market. So until it starts getting below like 1392, 1391, then I'm going to start to get nervous. But here we are, 1402. Obviously, the jobs number is going to be your mover here on Friday. So until we see what those numbers are, it's going to be tough to say where this market is going overall. And maybe you just keep playing it by the numbers.
Let me give you one more.
Okay.
One more. Wells Fargo.
That's still in the range. I've got the
It's
channel.
still in the
It's
range,
still in
but
the
it's just
range.
like bearing down on the bottom of
It's
it.
on the bottom of it, but I'd say it's still in the range. I'd say it's still in the range until you start getting below 33.70. It's got about 10 cents, but right there, you're right. 33.73. It's trying the lower end of this range this morning. So there's some stocks teetering on support here. Can it hold up? That's, I guess, the big question. Anyways, that's our show for today, folks. It's hard to say where this market's going, but the numbers do tell the story, and I'd say keep playing it by the numbers until it doesn't work anymore. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow.